Well, the time is just gone 4 minutes past 8, and with a student protest taking place at a number of universities around Johannesburg and in Cape Town, and one of them being Wits University, and students protesting over a number of issues, talking about financial exclusion, historical debt, and lack of funding. And what students are saying is this institution will be ungovernable up until students are able to register, up until students absorb the university absorbs the balance, and they will not stop until these demands are met. And we're going across to be joined by the Deputy President of Wits SRC, Kamogelo Mabe. Kamogelo, good morning to you. Welcome to the show.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me, and good morning to the listeners as well.
Yes, now, yesterday, Kamogela, we had the opportunity of speaking with the WITS spokesperson. We spoke to Sharona Patel, and she outlined the university's position in response to the protests that are taking place. Now, just take us through your issues as students. What are you protesting about?
Thank you very much. So, firstly, we've always taken a stance and declared that we are having a state of emergency on our campus, and specifically, this is because through the registration period, we have tried engaging with management so many times. We've tried tabling many concessions that we would like for them to make, and every time we do table those, we only come out with just arrogance from management. Most recently, we have asked that 150K students who are owing 150K and less should be allowed to register without having to pay anything. And then we have also asked for them to have an extra provision of hardship accommodation pays for the students without funding. Moreover, we have asked them to adjust the NSFAS 45,000 rand cap. And this is just a minority of the issues that we are facing on campus. However, we do believe that these are our immediate issues amongst the many other issues that we are faced with. And once again, we have been faced with a management that is arrogant towards these demands that we are making to ensure that we are having a smooth registration period. Hence, now we are in a state of emergency on our campus.
Yes. Now, Kamogelo, just looking at what the university has been saying, and you are saying that they are arrogant, and the university is saying that they've gone the extra mile over a period of time, and they talk about a figure of something like about 1.6 billion. And at this point in time, their hands are tied, and how much more can the university do? Do you buy that argument?
Definitely not. I would never buy that argument because the university on its own, they do know that they do have money that they made from the campaign from the 100 years. And so the centenary campaign did make money. So obviously they will come and cook up numbers, they will come and throw figures because that is what is going to seem reliable from their perspective. But we do also note and understand that there is centenary funds that are left over, and we are simply asking for the 84 million rand that students in need right now. That is what we are simply asking for, whereby the university has over 900 million rand that is sitting from that centenary funds. So the university cannot say that their hands are tied. There will never be a situation where their hands are tied.
Yes, but I think one of the issues that they also raised is there are a number of students that obviously have not done too well or have not succeeded over the years at university, and they've accumulated a lot of debt now. What would your position be in funding those students who we know have not made it over the years and accumulated all this debt?
But we need to note and understand that if you take students through an academic exclusion process and then you are readmitting them into the university, we are as student leaders going to collectively work to ensure that those students make it through the finish line, right? So it is the circumstances that you mentioned that previously the academic records may not have been up to par, but at the current moment, there are students who are academically deserving to be in this position. We do have the stats. These students do come to our offices. We do gather their stories. So we do not take this position only because we think that we are trying to have popularism over this issue. But these are serious issues whereby there are students who are deserving. There are students who are sleeping in libraries to ensure that they can be able to get their degrees. So there is a deliberate intention from the university to ensure that students do not all make it through the finish line. However, we are student leaders. We won't stand with this university's stance and particular way of working. These students are academically deserving, and these students will register, and these students must register at this point.
Kamogelo, I know at this point in time your protest is aimed at the university, your anger, your concerns, all of that is being raised against the university. But should the government, should the education authorities in the country, should the Minister of Higher Education, should they not also take responsibility for what students are experiencing? Because we've seen over a period of time, there has been a lot of failure on the part of government as well. I mean, there have been a lot of promises that have been made over a period of time as far as education is concerned. We know about the Nesfus debacle that has played out over the years as well. Should your anger not be also directed to the government?
Well, as you may have seen through this protest as well, we have also taken it to the streets. So we are balancing the campus shutdown, but also we are sending a big message as well to the country and a big message to the government as well to say that we can render the streets of Brazelton ungovernable should we reach that point. Because at the current moment, the anger is not only towards the university but towards the government. How do you set guidelines for NSS, for instance, in January, knowing that students are expected to come back to campus? How do you, within your Brampton team, allow these private accommodations to work outside of a student-friendly budget? So you cannot be charging 80,000 rand for student accommodation, knowing very well that on NSS will be paying 45,000 rand. So there is a level of incompetence from government, and it's even beyond incompetence at this point. I think the government on its own should retire the people who are currently leading us, because there is nothing that they're doing for students, because year in, year out, there has to be something that is regressive towards students on our campuses and towards students across all universities. So the government as well has a huge role in this, because they are firstly not coming in to conscientize the university to come to the party at the current moment. Moreover, some of the demands that we are tabling are aimed at them so that they can be able to address them. So this is both at the university and both at the government.
Yes, and just talking to Sharona Patel yesterday with regard to accommodation in a particular, I know the fees issue is one issue, but accommodation is also one of the key issues that you are protesting about. And what she mentioned is the university has gone the extra mile to try and secure additional accommodation for the students. And this, according to Sharona Patel, is not the responsibility of the university, but it's more the responsibility of the government.
I don't understand when they say that it's all the responsibility of the university but the government. The students are sleeping in our libraries, the students are on our campuses. It's the safety of the students who are registered under Wits University. So now we are basically outsourcing the safety and the priority of our students to the government. And when the university says that they are the ones that are going to secure, I mean, as student leaders, we had to remind them about this once again. It's a matter that we are asking. Are you not seeing that students are sleeping in libraries? Why are you taking student cards from students who are sleeping in libraries, and then you are not addressing this issue? So we are the ones that had to say to management, can you note this and can you take this serious? Hence, then management decided, let's go get and let's make the extra provision of the beds. So the university is arrogant and should not claim it as if like they are the ones that were concerned about this. They are not prioritizing students, and that's one thing we've noted over the past few years. And we are still in the same position once again in 2023, going into the second century of the university.
Right. Kamogelo, making obviously making a point is one thing, protesting is one thing, but you mentioned ungovernable, and yesterday we saw all those visuals of rocks and stones and tires being burnt, and shopkeepers are forced to close their businesses. Now, clearly, these are major concerns when protests take the form and the nature almost to a point that it becomes violent. I mean, how would you respond to that?
What we were simply doing yesterday, we were just saying that we are sending a message to the local government as well, and we want to just hold the local economy if it's not going to benefit the students. And what we simply did yesterday was just sending a message. We are not saying that we want this protest to get violent, but what we are simply saying is that can you please take our concerns and demands serious, and we are asking for this as soon as possible. And as long as this is not being done, we will continue with the protest, and that is the stance that we are taking as the SRC and student activists at large on our campuses.
Yes, and just finally, as a young person, and I know that many young people are concerned about the future in the country, and now that you are in your academic and you are looking at, as young people, you are looking at making something out of your life, setting up yourself for a career, setting yourselves up for bright futures ahead, because this is the reason why you are at university. But we've also seen the argument over and over again, where we've seen many young people qualified already, that have been through the entire system, battling to make a life for themselves, battling to find jobs, and they see very little hope in their future. And looking at where we are as a country at this point in time, how big a concern is it to you and students who are studying right now?
Yeah, I mean, it is quite saddening and disheartening to note that for us as students, we are studying, but there is no guarantee of any jobs once we are done studying. The youth unemployment rate keeps on going higher and higher. And right now, we are fighting that we can all get through the finish line. But we are as well. I think this is also a national discourse as well to consider that we are studying, but there is nothing that the government is doing to address that youth unemployment. Just an overflow of skills, there's an overflow of qualifications without anything that is going to particularly yield any benefits for a young and unemployed graduate.
Mm. And how long are you prepared to continue with this protest action?
We are willing to continue until the university, both the university and the government, address the issues that we are faced with. We've seen students coming in, we are mobilizing, and we are continuing to mobilize, and students are also joining in. So this is a time whereby we are in solidarity as students as a whole. So the university may say that they are continuing and proceeding with the academic calendar, but students are noting this as well, and students are coming to the party as well to ensure that all students can register, and also sending the message across to government as well. So there is mobilization happening, and it is happening successfully. So
Well, Kamogelo, thank you very much for that, and for taking time out this morning, and updating us here on Asala Media. We wish you all the best.
thank you so much for having me.
Kamogelo Mabe, Wits SRC Deputy President, with us this morning against the Wits student protest that is taking place. We're going to go for a quick break. We come back, we'll be joined by author Nicholas Brabazon Kerr about a book called A Wound Unhealed. Does Christian Zionism contribute to Palestinian suffering?